Hello, my friend. Welcome back to my channel where we are changing the narrative. Life is better after 50. We ain't getting old, we're getting better. My name is Cricket Williams-Bea, and I am your travel companion on this journey and exploration of life over 50. Have you ever wished you had a more interesting, fascinating, exciting life? And I bet many of you are looking at someone else's life, wishing you had their life. But guess what? You really don't want their life. You think you want their life, but you really don't. Because, first of all, you aren't given the grace to do what they are doing. And because of that, it will become more of a hardship to try and walk in their shoes. Those type of shoes were custom made to fit the feet of the owner. So they were not made for you. You are only given the grace to operate in your own unique gifts and calling. What you have on the inside of you will always be more interesting to you than what someone else has, but you will never know until you commit to pursuing it and developing in that area. I had to get sick and tired of being sick and tired of living my life for other people, the landlord, the bank, the creditors, my employer, doing what society says is important. So in 2015, I made it up in my mind that I was going to follow my heart. It wasn't an easy decision at first to leave a job that was no longer serving me. A matter of fact, about 2 years prior to me leaving, I remember having a meltdown as I was packing up and leaving to go home one evening. I told God that I just couldn't keep working my job any longer. I knew there had to be more to life, and God spoke something so profound and so clear. Then what are you going to do about it? My response was, but I have a car note, rent, bills. My kids are still in school. He didn't speak anymore after that. So I stayed another 2 years. And my youngest son just graduated from high school. My car was paid off and it was almost time to renew my lease. Both my children were out of the house, so I no longer had those obligations I used as reasons or excuses for not leaving. No one could talk about me not taking care of my responsibilities. And the pressure to leave that job grew more intense to the point it was unbearable. Now, I don't recommend you just leave your job because that can put you in a very stressful situation if God hasn't led you to do so. When I left my job, I left with peace. No job lined up, no savings, nothing but a plan to scale down. Work a part-time job if necessary. Go to school for aesthetics. Work my Mary Kay business. Get a job in aesthetics. Focus on my music. But God had a plan beyond my plans. I was willing to become homeless if I had to. Look, I was homeless for 2 years before with two kids, 11 and 16. When I was evicted, all I had was my Ford Focus, and that was a blessing because it was better than being out on the streets. Homelessness was the worst thing that could have happened to me at that time. I was devastated at first, but in the process, I discovered a strength and determination I never knew I had. So I figured that if I already survived the worst that could happen, I could leave my job without flinching and with no fear. If I had to live out of my car, then I would live out of my car. I've done it before and I survived. All I knew is that I refused to spend another day working a job that was draining the life out of me. God provided for me every step of the way. My youngest son stepped up, took care of me while I went back to school for almost 2 years. I wasn't expecting that. And then I began dating a very good friend of mine at the time who later became my husband, and he took over from there. That wasn't my plan, but God had a different plan. I would say if you don't have peace, stay put and just wait on God. I never look back. But if you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that you need to leave and you're hesitating, He will add pressure so much that you are going to want to leave. However, I know people who even fight that because they are so afraid of the unknown. Ask God for His peace in this instance. Always follow the peace of God. After I left my job, I had not one moment of regret. Even when things got tight and a little rough, even when people were scratching their heads and wondering what the heck I was doing, and they are still scratching their heads, I left and kept my commitment to what I said I would do. Although YouTube wasn't in my plans, I know now that it was in God's plan for my life. I am now living a life that brings me so much fulfillment, joy, and happiness, and the best is still yet to come. I am so grateful for His divine provision and faithfulness and opportunity to serve on this platform. Over 20 years ago, God spoke to me and said that my latter days would be greater than my former. I know He is not a respecter person. That is His word, His promise. When I say that your latter days are better than your former, it is up to you to just receive that. I am a living, breathing witness. My life is a testimony. I am walking in that promise. All God needs is your full surrender. He may not have you leave your job, but whatever He is asking you to do, just do it. Because the life you've been asking for, hoping for, is on the other side of obedience.